In this video, I'll be sharing my top 25 Excel tricks that can help accounting or business owners or students to work more efficiently. Hello and welcome to part 1 of 25 Excel tricks. These tips and tricks have been curated by me, a seasoned data analyst, and are designed to save you time and effort when working with Excel. You don't want to miss these tricks, so make sure to watch the video all the way through. And if you find these tips helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel for more useful content in the future. Don't forget to hit the like button, share this video with others, and leave a comment if you have any questions or suggestions for future topics. So, let's get started with these essential Excel tricks. Number 1. Quick Analysis Tool. Most people aren't aware of the Quick Analysis tool. When you highlight any table, in the bottom right corner is an icon. This is the Quick Analysis tool menu. If you click on that, it gives you a wealth of options you can choose from. To modify your table, for example, I can click on Totals, click Sum, and it shows the sum of the columns. You can click this sum and it sums the rows. You can also do formatting on the table, add icons, create charts and insert them into your spreadsheet, turn it into a table, and add sparklines. There's so much available here, and it makes it quick and easy to avoid going through the menus and manually inserting each one of these different options onto your table. Number 2. Filter. If you're not using Filter, you should be. It's very simple. Just click anywhere inside of a table of data. Go to the Data tab, click this filter icon, and it creates a filter at the top of each one of the columns. When you click on one of these, it shows you all the unique values listed anywhere in that column, and you can turn them off. Select one in particular, or 2 or 3 or as many as you like. Hit OK. And it filters out only those rows of data that match that filter. It's a great way to manage large lists of information. Number 3. Drop-down lists. Say you want to select a list of values like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you want it to be selectable from this column right here. Go to the Data tab, click on Data Validation, and choose List from the menu. Choice. In the source, select the choices that you want to make available and hit Enter. Make sure this in Cell drop-down checkbox is checked and hit OK. Now when you're in this column and you hit the down arrow, it gives you those 4 choices to choose from. If you try to type something that is outside of that range, it gives you a warning that the value doesn't match the list. Number 4. Auto-fit column width. This is by far the quickest way to adjust the width on your columns. Just go to the space between columns so your cursor turns to this shape and double-click. It'll automatically readjust the size of the columns to fit the widest point of the data anywhere in that entire column. You can also highlight all of the columns. Click on any one of them the same way, and it will do multiple columns at the same time. 5. Transpose. Let's say you want to reverse the columns and rows in a table. All you have to do is highlight the entire set of data, right-click, copy, choose the location where you want to place the results. Click Paste Special, and check this box Transpose and hit OK. Now all the columns and rows have been reversed. Number 6. Remove duplicates. Removing duplicates is handy if you have a list of names or other information where there's duplicates and you want to end up with a unique set of values. In this example, I'm gonna highlight this list, click on Data, choose Remove Duplicates. The columns are selected: first name, last name, and amount, and in this case I'm going to hit OK to remove the duplicates where all 3 of those columns match. That should be true for row 3 and row 8, and as you can see, it removes the 1 duplicate value. Now, let's do the same thing, but in this case we're not going to do the amount, and we're only going to do it where the first name and the last name are exactly the same. It now removed 2 duplicates. Now be sure to use this. Remove duplicates when the results are going to be removed. If you just want a filter, you should use the filter as we looked at earlier, because this one deletes the data that is duplicates. Number 7. Goal Seek. Goal Seek is an advanced function in Excel and is part of the what-if analysis tools. In this example, say we have a number of items that we sell. We know how many, the quantity that we've sold of the first 2 items, and the price each, and what the total dollar amount is. But for the third item, we want to know how many of these we need to sell in order to get the overall total to $6,000. Well, you can punch in numbers right here randomly to try to figure that out. And then keep working it until you get to a number that matches the 6,000 that you're targeting. But you can also use the what-if analysis to figure it out for you. To use Goal Seek, you want to start by clicking on the target cell. Go to Data, What-if Analysis, and choose Goal Seek. It fills in the target cell as your set cell. The value we're trying to reach is 6,000, and the cell we're going to change is the quantity for item 3. When you hit OK, it goes through and calculates 197 as the magic number to reach that goal of 6,000 total. Just be aware that you can use your imagination to come up with all kinds of scenarios for the what-if analysis using Goal Seek. It handles very complex solutions. Number 8. VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP is a very commonly used tool to find data in a list. In this example, I have a list of names with an associated ID. Over here, I'm creating a new table and I want to reference the names in this table to look up the ID from this list and fill them in. To do that, I want to use the VLOOKUP function. Click on the Insert Function button and you want to find VLOOKUP in the list. You can type it in, do a search against all, and once it's there selected, and it brings up the function arguments to remind you of what you fill in. For each one of these, there's a description down here. The lookup value is what value do I want to look up in the list, and that is the name, Nancy. The list that I'm going to choose from is the entire list, and the column index number is the column that I want to return the value from. In this case, this is column 1 and this is column 2, so I'm going to choose column 2. And finally, the range lookup is either true or false. If you use true, it looks for the closest match. False is an exact match, and in almost every situation you want to use false. Hit OK and you can see that it looked up Nancy in the table and found the ID and returned it over here. All we have to do then, let's copy this data down. Now you'll notice right here Carol isn't in the list, so it returns an NA. Now also note that there is an HLOOKUP function which is horizontal instead of vertical, so if you're looking up something in a different format, you may need to use the HLOOKUP, but it essentially has the same parameters. The beauty of the VLOOKUP function is if you change a value, it will update it automatically in the table. Number 9. Flash and autofill. Flash fill and autofill are slightly different. In this example, we have some email addresses and they fit the format of first name dot last name throughout the list. If you start typing the name because you want to pull it out of the email address, Flash fill automatically detects the pattern that you're using and it recommends a solution to fill it in for you, so you can hit enter and it fills those in for the remainder. Autofill is also based on patterns, so if you put a number in, for example, and you use the right corner and drag it down, it autofills those numbers in there. Now if I did 1, 2 and selected both and then drag it down, it sees the pattern and automatically increments by 1 each time. You can do the same thing with dates. With months. Just remember there has to be a detectable pattern and to use the correct option on the corners. So if you type something in and you drag it, it's gonna copy it. If you type something in and you double click, it fills it in automatically, matching up with the left column next to it. And if you define a pattern, make sure you highlight both or more and then drag. Flash fill and autofill are both really good at making you more efficient when typing information in. Number 10. Paste special values. Paste special values is a handy tool to use if you have a bunch of data with formulas, and you just want to copy all of that information over to another location and get rid of all those formulas. So you can see on this I have a formula that adds B and C together into a full name. I have a formula that does a divided by for the percentage on this, and if I want to just take those things and remove them and copy this to another location, so I just am left with the data, all you have to do is highlight, copy, pick a new location, and do paste special. In the list, choose values and hit OK. Now you'll notice when I highlight these there's no formulas, it's just the value of the data. You'll find this to be more common than you'd think, because oftentimes you want to remove all that formula and formatting and use the data in a different way, and this is a quick function to help you do that. Number 11. Images and charts. It's real simple to spice up a chart with images. I've created a bar chart from a set of data. If you come into the chart and click at least a couple of times to bring up the format, click on this fill and line icon. Go under fill and there is a picture or texture fill option. If you select that, you can pick from a file and choose an image, and it will fill that image in on your chart in place of the normal texture. Number 12. If function. The if function is very handy if you want to do conditional data representation. For example, in this chart I have a column ABCD, a column with numbers. Some of those numbers are greater than 10 and some are less. I want to create an if function to determine when these numbers are greater than 10 and say big, and if they're less than 10 I want to say small, so I click on the fx, type in if, choose all, and do go to search for it. Bring up the if function. The first parameter it asks for is the logical test. What we want to know is if this number is greater than 10. If that's true, we want to print big, and if it's false, we want to print small. Okay, and there you have your answer. I'm going to copy this down to the other ones, and now I can see the one that's small. Thank you for watching. Be sure to click the like and subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.